Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. If you are new to my page, my name is Alison. I am a dating and relationship coach, and I primarily work with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. I'm going to go ahead and start thanking and welcoming folks for joining. Welcome, Credit King. Thank you for joining. Miss Lady Loyal. Bree, thank you for showing up. You always here, girl. Thank you for the support. Hello, Nelly. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. Dear Miss Brielle, thank you for joining. Live in love. You sound like me. Welcome. Miss Paige, thank you for joining us. Letitia, I would like to purchase some candles from you. So if you could go ahead and put some candles or some fire emojis in there so folks can know and understand how amazing your candles are, because I need to purchase some, like ASAP. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining. If you are new to my page and this is the first time that you are here, I want to welcome you to the land of love. So please go ahead and drop your name and where you're from so I can formally welcome you. If you are joining because you just happen to be on Instagram and saw me and you'd like alerts to know when I'm going live, then please go ahead and join the land of love by texting the word align, ALIGN, to 2100, the word align to 2100. Thank you, the Credit King, for purchasing a badge. I appreciate the support. The nurse investor is Destiny from Long Island. Welcome. Mercy from Miami. Mercy, let us know if everything is okay down there, if your family is okay down there. Jorge, welcome. Marlon from Atlanta, Georgia. This is your first time you're purchasing a badge? I appreciate that. Thank you. Tiana from Cali. Dee Dee's from Brooklyn. Yes, enjoy the journey. 70 is in Atlanta by way of Brooklyn, representing Brooklyn. Yes. Letitia Page, thank you for those emojis so that folks know where to purchase the candles from. That's where I buy my candles from. So go ahead and represent. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, folks. So again, if you are joining, my name is Alison. I'm a dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. I have a bachelor's degree in education. I have a master's degree in counseling. I have a master's degree extension in mental health counseling. And I am a certified life coach with a specialty in love and relationships. And that's not in an effort to brag, but I think it's important that folks know and understand who they're listening to, because if you're investing any time with me, even though it's absolutely free, when you listen to someone, they start to impart some of their ideology and it rests on you. And so we can't be listening to any old body without any credentials, right? Thank you, Palona, for joining and supporting all the time. It's just Daniel. Thank you. Eli Johnson. Thank you. Blue Sugar Cake. Thank you for being here. Too Strong Butterfly. Coco Mama. Miss Ford. Lots of people coming in and I appreciate you. So this is how it works, guys. Every Wednesday I go live. I go live 3 times a week, but every Wednesday I go live and I do this live Q&A. The purpose of the live Q&A is that so I can connect with you guys, the audience, and I can offer some free actionable feedback so that you can have some improvement in your love life. So will a 3-minute response necessarily change your life? Maybe yes, maybe no. But if you're looking for something that's more in-depth, you could go ahead and click the link in my bio to book a call to see how else I can be of support to you. Thank you, Mishi Brown, for purchasing a badge. I appreciate you. Faith from Miami says, my family's okay, so a lot of work to do. We lost a lot of families in Surfside. Pray for us. Yes, ma'am. We've been praying. Somebody's from Queens. Yes. Mindset Empire. Thank you for joining for Queens. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump in. All right. So how it works is that every Tuesday I post in my stories an opportunity for you guys to input your question. So it says I always show this, but I ain't got it queued up today. It's a green story. That's one of my colors. And it says for you to put your question here. I read those questions anonymously and then I answer it. I guarantee if you put your question in the story the day before, then I will answer it live on here. I will try to answer questions that are inserted in the bubble. So you can go ahead and drop any questions you have there at the bottom of your screen with a question mark, but I can't guarantee it. I guarantee though, that if you ask a question in the stories, I will for sure make sure that it's covered. Now, Instagram's been acting funny. I don't know what's going on, But normally what happens, I'm sure you guys know, when you have a story, you can swipe up and then you can see all the responses. But for the last 2 weeks, Instagram hasn't been doing that for me. So what I've been doing is every time I get a question, I've been screenshotting them. And now they're mixed into my normal questions. So y'all might have to be a little patient with me as I scroll through and try to find the questions that were asked this week. So, oh, that was last week. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start. So the first question, welcome everyone who's joining again. We're gonna get started with Q&A. First question, what do you think needs to be done in order for a long distance relationship to work? What do you think needs to be done in order for a long distance relationship to work? So for those who are new, you may not know this, and I forgot to say it in the intro, my bad. I want feedback. I want you guys to tell me what advice you would offer this person so I could go ahead and read it off for them. In case they're not on the live right now, they can always watch the live later. I have it on my IGTV, and I also have it on my YouTube at Align with Alison. Everything is at Align with Alison. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. Okay, so Kirby D says she wants to know what the answer is. Welcome, Tiana Robinson. Okay. What do you think needs to be done in order for a long distance relationship to work? This is my response, and I'd love to hear feedback from the rest of you. So, let me start with Bree. Bree says communication and ability of both parties to travel. Miss Mo says establish expectations for communication. I would say communication. It's hard with COVID and restrictions. Says live in love. It depends on how much distance. Good question, Lisa says. Trust. Okay, those are all amazing responses. The number one thing that I highly recommend, it is a must for me, in my opinion, is that we have to have a deadline as to when this long distance is going to end. Gotta have a deadline, right? So yes, the communication, the trust, all of those are emotions, but I'm talking like the practical application. If I'm dating a gentleman and he's in the military, and I know that he's gonna be stationed in Vietnam for 18 months, then I know I need to hold out, continuously communicate, all that good stuff for 18 months. If, which would not happen to me, I'm dating a gentleman and he is going to prison for 3 years. I know that there is a deadline. Hopefully he doesn't get in trouble when he's in jail. But there's a deadline, right? Where in 3 years, the expectation is that he's returning home. He may be on lockdown for X amount of time. This is a really terrible example, but you get my point, right? Like there is a deadline. I'm dating someone. I'm in New York. He's pursuing his dreams of acting in LA. He says, I'm going to give it 1 year. If I don't get a job or a gig in 1 year, then I'm coming back to New York. I'm going to get into theater. That's 1 year. So I believe that there needs to be a hard and fast deadline because folks can hold on, hold out, stay strong, whatever you want to call it, if they know that there's a hard and fast deadline. If it's up in the air and we don't know when somebody's coming home or the other person will be meeting them there, it is very difficult to have an expectation that I'm going to be communicating with you forever, that I am going to be holding out forever, that I am not going to be having the fun that other people have in regards to like the Valentine's days and the Christmas pajamas and all of that stuff, the +1 at weddings, if I have no definitive end date. So I always preach, and I usually get this question every week, a definitive deadline. I need that. I am not going to be engaged in a relationship with someone that's long distance. I'm talking about you can't drive it, right? Like a long distance relationship, unless there's a definitive date. And I hope that I've really drilled that home. That's number one. Gotta have that. If we don't have that, then I'll see you when you come back. If I'm available, great. And if you're available, great. And then we'll be available together. Definitive end date. Now, from there, where do we go? Now comes all the emotionality, right? Like obviously we have to communicate. We are going to establish how frequently we're going to communicate. If there's a time difference, I might have to wake up early. You may have to stay up late. But we need to establish some kind of regularity of communication. Whatever that might look like. I'm waking up at 5, you staying up till 1, whatever, right? That's number one. So we have to establish some kind of regularity. There's a daily check-in other than the text messages. I want to see your face. It's 2021. There's no reason why that's not a possibility. I need to see your surroundings. I know folks may not like that, but that's the reality of the game, right? Like, I need to feel confident that you are not in places that may put you in a position to risk our relationship. So a regularity, there needs to be a consistency in that regard when it comes to communication. Thank you, Jappa Black, for purchasing a badge. I appreciate you, and welcome everyone who is joining. We're doing our live Q&A, okay? So 1, a hard and fast deadline. 2, there needs to be a consistent, I want a schedule of communication so I know what to expect. And then 3, obviously, there needs to be trust. And if trust was questionable when we were together at any point of our relationship, good luck, Chuck. Good luck, Chuck. It may have to be, maybe it's best that we separate until someone returns or moves or whatever it is. And then from there, we can see about dating each other again. Because if you had trust issues when you were in the same house or the same town or the same city, long distance is only going to make things more complicated. And what is meant to be is meant to be. I dated my husband when I was 18 years old. He dated other folks thereafter. I dated other folks thereafter. And we found ourselves again a few years ago. So what is meant to be is meant to be. Sometimes you got to let go and reunite if and when it's appropriate. Best of luck. All right, folks. Oh, thank you for purchasing a badge, Letitia Page. Appreciate you. Too Strong Butterfly, thank you for purchasing a badge. Miss Lady Loyal, thank you for purchasing a badge. Author, thank you for purchasing a badge. I appreciate you guys. I guess I'm on fire today, y'all. All right, next question. And welcome to those who are just joining. Again, my name is Alison. I am a certified dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. I go live 3 times a week. If you want alerts on when I go live, you can go ahead and join my text community, the Land of Love, by texting the word ALIGN, ALIGN, to 2100. If anybody in the comments would be so kind to go ahead and put the word ALIGN, ALIGN, to 2100 so folks can see it. I'd really appreciate that. Or you can download any of my freebies. I have a free ebook, Move On, if you're having a hard time moving on from a relationship that's not serving you. Or you can check out my free training, The Partner You Deserve. That will get you on the list. If you checked out all the resources and you're still struggling, let's get on the phone. Let's see how I can help you and bring you into my coaching program. 2100, y'all. 21000. Add another 0. Oh, is that 2100? Did I get that wrong? Yeah, I might be right. 21. I'm not a mathematician. I'm just really good with people. 21000. So I guess that's 21,000. Awkward. Love y'all. Align to 21,000. Okay. Next question. And as I shared with you guys, Instagram's been acting up, so I can't just swipe up and see the questions. I had to screenshot each and every question that came in as they came in. So I'm gonna need y'all to be patient as I look. Yes, that's 21,000, Bree. Thank you. Like I said, I'm not a mathematician. I'm good with relationships and people. That's what I'm good at. Okay. Next question. Somewhere around here. Okay. Can inconsistency be the reason why you end a relationship? Can inconsistency be the reason why you end a relationship? So the first thing I would say, and unfortunately this is the nature of live Q&A, right? Like I'm lacking the context. I need to know what this person's being inconsistent with. I need to know what they're being inconsistent with in order to 100% feel confident with me answering your question, right? I'm seeing folks say yes, definitely. I'm like I said, I'm not a mathematician, but I'm a critical thinker. And so I'm going to ask a couple more questions which the person can answer. What are they being inconsistent with? Now, we don't have that, so I'm just going to answer the question to the best of my ability. This is how I see things. I always advise my clients, my audience, whoever, when you're trying to make a decision as to whether or not someone is an appropriate match, we take it back to elementary school. You do your pros and cons. Now, before we even get to pros and cons, right, because cons then insinuates that there's some negative things, you should know exactly what you're looking for before you even get onto the dating scene. You should know exactly what you're looking for before you even get onto the dating scene, right? So what do I always tell you guys? The non-negotiables. You should have a list of exactly what you are looking for that is a non-negotiable. You will not falter. If this gentleman or this lady does not have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I max it at 6 because we have to be practical, right? If this person does not have those 6 things, then I cannot go on a date with them, at least seemingly, right? Because obviously this is a process. From the date, you're still qualifying as they are qualifying you. Does this person, again, seemingly have what I'm looking for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I can get to commitment. Does this person have what I'm looking for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we can get to engagement, which leads to marriage, which leads to hopefully a lifelong, happy, fulfilling relationship, right? So when you have your non-negotiables, you have to decide what are the things that are the most important to you. I made my list of non-negotiables. I tell this story every single week for anybody who will listen. This was like 10 or 11 years ago. I was complaining to a male older supervisor of mine. He's married at the time with 1 child. He now has 2, about something I was going through in a relationship. And he asked me, well, Williams, because that was my name at the time, right? Williams, well, what are you looking for? And I could not answer him. I mean, granted, I was in my 20s, so I'm not going to put too much accountability on the fact that I had a lack of clarity. But now I understand, and I preach to y'all, you cannot have an expectation of achieving a goal or getting to a particular point in your life unless you have a clear vision as to what that goal looks like, whatever it may be, which includes your partnerships, your romance, your love life. So you need to make a list of those non-negotiables. Now you're saying, Alison, this has nothing to do with the question. Yes, it does. I'm going to bring it back around right now. Okay. When you have your list of non-negotiables, if consistency is a value of yours that you've listed, then that alone would be enough for you to end this relationship. Because again, your non-negotiables, that's your guiding force. That's how you make your decisions. A lot of times folks complain about women being too emotional and we're unstable creatures. So let's take the emotionality out of it. You have made a list. You've checked it twice. You've decided what are those things that are an absolute must for you. You cannot function in a relationship and be happy and fulfilled without those things. And so if someone violates those things, then it's not me, it's the list. I didn't do it. It was you and the list. Now, side note, I would not share the list with those you are dating because you don't want anyone to be a chameleon, right? Like you don't want them to pretend and present to be something that they are not. At the same time, if you have your list and consistency is one of those things on that list, and this person is not fulfilling that element, which is a non-negotiable, there's no negotiation, they gotta go. That's it. Now, do I think that it's fair that you have a conversation or multiple conversations with them? Yes. Do I think that it's fair that you make an effort to try to maybe speak to a professional depending on how deep the relationship is, how many years in you have, if you're legally married, if you have children together? Should you seek out a professional to guide you in this issue, to try to resolve it? Yes. And then what? So do we just drop people dead? Like, no. Unless it's like a first date, then you just drop them dead and keep moving. But if you have an investment and you're in a relationship, you should make an effort to work it out one-on-one and then hire somebody. And then if nothing changes, then you move on because you deserve happiness. Again, bring it back to your non-negotiables. This is something that should be a part of your vetting process before you even start dating. Do not click on a dating app after this live, y'all, unless you have your non-negotiables. Do not walk out on the date on Friday unless you have your non-negotiables. Do not pick up the phone and text, hey baby, unless you have your non-negotiables. You need to have a clear vision as to what you want before you will find success in it, whatever it may be. If you want to be a lawyer, you need to investigate which law schools, what the tuition is, what percentage of their graduates pass the bar in that state, what state do you want to eventually live in because maybe you want to take the bar there. Like it's a clear vision. You have a clear vision. You want to lose 20 pounds, then you need to have a conversation about how frequently you go to the gym, who's going to be your accountability partner, what are the items you're throwing away from the fridge, what are the items you're going to replace with it. Clear vision. You can't say that you want to be a lawyer and you don't know what law school. I know in law school you kind of figure out what you want to study more specifically, what the tuition is, what the passing rate, what state you want to live in, then you don't want to be a lawyer. If you've done no effort whatsoever to clarify what your goal is, it's a dream. If you have put in no effort whatsoever to know what's the calorie intake for your height, your size, your weight, and if you've been unsuccessful in this over and over and over again, and however your cheap self won't find a fitness coach, or your lazy self won't DM one of your friends who went to law school to get the inside track, then you really don't want this. And that's okay, but tell your truth. You really don't want to lose the weight. You really don't want to go to law school. You really don't want to be married. You really don't want to change your finances because you're not willing to do the research or hire someone who will to get to the success that you're looking for. No, I went off. Sorry. Yeah, it's not a goal, it's a dream. You dreaming, and good luck to you. Maybe you'll just fall into law school. Maybe you'll just fall into love. Maybe your life is a Disney movie. I highly doubt it. My life hasn't been a Disney movie yet. Everything I have, I've worked super hard for it, and my parents have worked super hard to provide it for me. I haven't come across a genie. Not yet. My husband was a prince, but I had to be a princess, and now he's a king, and I'm his queen. But that didn't come because I was born into it. It's not a birthright. It's work. So this expectation that things are going to just fall into your lap, I know. I'm sorry. Kind of went off. Okay. All right, guys. Again, I'm surfing for my next question. Got it. Whew. This is a good one. How do you enforce healthy boundaries so you can move on while co-parenting? How do you enforce healthy boundaries so you can move on while co-parenting? How do you enforce healthy boundaries so you can move on, I assume romantically move on, while co-parenting? This is an amazing question. Oh, thank you for the compliment on the hair, Jelani. Appreciate you. All right. So this is going to sound simple, and I apologize. However, you need to have a series of conversations. And in the series of conversations, which some I would have via text, by the way, for documentation, not like for court, but just for like, hey, I said this before. The series of conversations need to lead with respect and understanding. However, at the same time, being clear as to what you will stand and what you won't stand for. So, let's talk about some examples of what I mean. One of the boundary issues that I've heard, that I've seen, right, are folks calling anytime, right? Calling at any time, day and night, for things that are not an emergency. Calling day and night for things that are not an emergency. So the conversation is going to go like this. Hey, I understand that, you want to catch up with me in life. However, I think the healthiest thing for us to do is for us to only speak about things that have to do with our child, at least for now, as we're both trying to figure out how to function in this world as co-parents. And then as our relationship builds, we can see about building a friendship back again. But right now, as you know, we're in a really tough space. It's an awkward space. And so if it's not about Tommy, then I think it's best that we hold off on these kind of conversations. If you want to check in with me during the day to see how I am, okay, if you're okay with that. Don't say that if you're not okay with that. But please, at nighttime or early in the morning, if it's not about Tommy, then I think it's best that you hold off. Now, that person may not understand that the first time. When they call you again at midnight and you answer the phone because you assume it's an emergency with Tommy, right? Then you're going to say, hey, is everything okay with Tommy? Oh, yeah, I told you, please do not contact me at this time unless it's about Tommy. Unless it's about Tommy, please do not contact me. Unfortunately, I have to go. And if you have to bang it, then you gotta bang it, right? They may do it again, calling you 6 a.m. Hey, everything okay with Tommy? You're gonna lead every single time, hey, is everything okay with Tommy? Because the only thing you care about is Tommy. Sooner or later, they're gonna get the point. Now, there's some of you who may be thinking, I'm a little worried about starting a conflict because I don't know how that's going to impact like my visitation and child support. Well, guess what? You have a kid with someone and you're no longer together. It's the nature of the game. You may be subjected to child support. You knew that when you had unprotected sex. That was when you had a choice. And you chose in a direction that's not financially beneficial to you. Oh well, sucks to be you. That child deserves everything that you can afford to provide for them. And just because you're not with the other parent doesn't mean that they should go without, because y'all couldn't figure it out. So yes, you may have to be the one who says, let's establish legally and in a binding way what visitation looks like. Let's establish legally and in a binding way what child support looks like. That way they can't dingle that over your head and say, well, I expect you to, or I'm going to do this. Guess what? I already did it. You can't do anything. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet. And that might be an 18-year-long bullet. It may be college 21-year-long bullet. It's a bullet you enjoyed that night when you chose to have unprotected sex. So suck it up. It's not about you. It's about the child and what's in the best interest of the child. So you may have to take action and get legally binding clarity on what visitation looks like and what child support looks like, so this person cannot manipulate or use this child as a pawn to get what they want. Okay? So once you've established that, they can't use it anymore. So every single time they violate, when we talk about phone calls, I'm going to give another example in a moment, you're going to lead with, hey, is Tommy okay? If it's outside of the confines of a time that you've established, hey, I don't mind you checking in on me, but it's going to have to be between the hours of such and such unless it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, I am here for both you and Tommy. If it's not an emergency, please do not call me before 8 or after 7. And every single time they call, is it about Tommy? Is Tommy okay? And if the answer is no, bang it. And eventually they'll get it. That's it. Now, let's talk about popping up. Folks popping up at your house. I want to see my kid. I want to pick up my kid. Guess what? I know this is not desirable, but perhaps you need to go to court to establish who and when and where and why and how. Maybe you got to do it because clearly this person does not respect your time and doesn't listen and cannot hear and cannot comprehend and cannot understand and cannot appreciate, right? So if that's the case, then what we're going to have to do is establish this legally, because clearly there's a misconnect and we can't figure it out as two adults together, okay? Coco Mama says, if you had the convo and they still don't respect your boundaries, block them until the kids are physically with them. Do that too. I said, bang it on them. There's going to be a point where people are going to not like getting hung up on. Hey, is Tommy okay? Yeah, he's fine. Are you sure? Yeah, I told you do not call me before 7 o'clock. Goodbye. Sometimes it gets better. Sometimes it just takes for that other person to get involved in a relationship for them to reinforce the boundary on their own. But it's your responsibility to be consistent and clear with respect. Even if they call you names, even if they go on social media and talk poorly about you, you're going to keep it professional, responsible, and mature. You're not going to respond to threats. You are going to make sure that they have nothing to threaten you with. And if that means that you have to pay out the ass for child support, you should have thought about that. Oh, well, that's where we are now, so that you can live your life without having to worry about people popping up on you, people calling you inappropriately, and making dating and relationships difficult for you. If you're already involved in a relationship with someone new, you're going to tell them from the gate that's in the process of dating the truth. You're not going to mislead them. You're not going to say, I have a wonderful co-parenting relationship. No, you don't. Tell the truth. This is the circumstance. This is why we separated. These are how many children I have. Tell the truth. And then this is what we're still working out, so that folks know what they're signing up for. Okay? Let's move on. I hope that answers the question. Sometimes you got to get the law involved. Not call the cops. Don't call the cops unless you're actually in danger. But sometimes you got to go to the courthouse. All right. I think this is my last question. My last question. All right. Is it wrong that I'm happy and expecting of flaws my partner has while she's trying to fix me? Is it wrong that I'm happy and accepting of flaws my partner has while she's trying to fix me? Okay, so I think it's easy to say, well, I accept you for who you are, so why can't you accept me for who I am? I think that's easy to say. I love you and I accept you and all of you, and you're not perfect, so why can't you accept me the same way? That's easy to say. It's easy to say because whatever the flaws that the partner has that you're willing to accept may not be as bad as yours. It's not a fair comparison. It's not, I forgive you for who you are and I accept you for who you are, so why can't you accept me for who I am? Because maybe my flaws are like this and maybe your flaws are like this. And so that's not a fair comparison. It's apples to oranges, right? So leading with the argument of you should love and accept me for who I am because I love and accept you for who you are is a faulty argument that doesn't work. Because y'all flaws might not be the same, right? Instead, what we need to have a conversation about is what is it about me that's so problematic? And am I willing to change those things to make you happy? That's the conversation. But this tit for tat, I forgave you, so you should forgive me, and I love you for your flaws, and you should forgive me for mine. That's not a solid argument because the flaws may not be the same, right? Instead, it needs to be you're looking to fix me. You believe I have a problem with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Yes, clarity, good. These are the things I'm willing to change. These are the things I'm not willing to change. You have a problem with how messy I keep my apartment. I'm willing to change that. I will clean more frequently. You have a problem with the fact that I play video games 4 hours a day when I come home from work and I don't pick up the kids or don't clean. That's something I can work on. I can reduce video games from 4 hours to 2 hours. It's my joy. It's what I do to wind down. You have a problem with the fact that I'm very close to my family and we spend a lot of quality time together. That's something I'm not willing to change. You have a problem with the fact that I play basketball every Sunday afternoon with my friends, rain, sleet, snow, or hail. Right or wrong, I'm not willing to change it. So we can talk about the things that I'm willing to change. I'm telling you I'm willing to change it. You can help me put a plan together as to how I'm going to change it, and we could work on that. But I'm telling you now, some of the things that you have a problem with, I am not willing to change. So what are you going to do about it? Now, I say that, I'm saying it to y'all this way. We put a little nicety on it, right? But that's what the root is. Some things I recognize are problematic and I'm willing to change. Some things I recognize are problematic and I'm still not willing to change. Some things I recognize that are not problematic that you say are, and I'm not willing to change them. So we can move forward with me implementing these changes, the stuff I'm willing to do. And then if the stuff that I'm not willing to do is still problematic for you, I don't know what to tell you, sis. I don't know what to tell you, sir. It's not changing. Do what you will. Are you saying that because I'm not willing to change this is worthy of ending our relationship? And if you feel that way, then I understand. This is it. So this, I love you, so you should love me. I accept you, so you should accept me, doesn't work. Because what your faults are versus what her faults are may not be the same faults, right? However, we should have a conversation about what's problematic, what I'm willing to do, and what I'm not willing to do. And I'm sure some folks might come back and say, well, if you really love such and such, you would change. Not necessarily. Not if it's core to who I am. If it's core to who I am, I love me more than I love you. And so I am not willing to change something that's core to who I am for you. Now, am I going to say it like that? Not necessarily, but it is the truth, right? Core to who I am, Alison, is the pride that I have in my blackness. That is core to my identity. If I dated someone who said, oh, I don't understand why you so pro-black anyway, why you always concerned about the black community, why you always... That's core to who I am. I'm not changing it. I would never dream of it. I would be embarrassed to do so. I wouldn't be who I am without it. So that's what I mean about some things you're not willing to change. Cleaning up some more, playing less on a video game, helping out with the kids. You do the pickups, I do the drop-offs. If that's not core to who you are and it's not editing who you are, do it. If it is, then it's a non-negotiable for you. So, gotta move on. Kingdom says, do you like and love yourself before you ask someone to accept you? Well said. Malika, thank you for the badge, and thank you, Fashion Nova, baby. I had I had a podcast interview right before this. Normally, I just throw on a t-shirt, but I had to zhuzh it up a little bit. So thank you for that. So I hope that answered everybody's question. Let's see what's in the queue, and let's see what I have time for. All right. Someone asked, I think I got played. Met what I thought was a wonderful man online. Convos turned into sex too soon. And when I told him I wasn't looking for that, he stopped calling. Yeah, you messed up. You didn't get played. You played yourself. You say that the convos turned into sex too soon. That's your belief, right? Whatever too soon may be for you, days, months, I'm assuming not years. So you know that you violated a boundary that you normally hold yourself to. He was under the impression it was one thing. You were under the impression it was something else. So I don't see it as that he played you. You offered mixed messages, perhaps, by offering him sex so early on. The question is, did you clarify with him what he was looking for? And was it the same thing that you were looking for? And so if you asked, what are you looking for? On his dating app, he said, I'm looking for commitment, I'm looking for a relationship, I'm looking for marriage. Then that's where you get played. When someone lies to you, right, then you've gotten played. But if this person never established what they were looking for, and then you say that you guys went to sex too soon, then you gave him the impression that that's what you were looking for. And so then when you did a 180 and went in a different direction, he stopped calling because that's not what he's looking for. So I think we need to make sure that we're absolutely clear with folks what we're looking for before we hold either one of us accountable. What are you looking for? If they lie to you, that's one thing. But if they say, I'm not sure, or let's see, or let's go with the flow, you played yourself. And now you've learned, which is great. You're not going to make the same mistake twice. Okay? People will agree to have sex and then be mad after. Bree says, agree, Alison. Sometimes we take accountability. Sometimes we got to take accountability for where we messed up at and don't just jump to blaming the other person. Again, I don't know. Obviously, we're missing some context here, but I just need to know, are we asking clarifying questions? Are we looking at their profile? Because she said she met the gentleman online. What did he say on his profile? If he said go with the flow, you're flowing yourself right into disaster. You flowing yourself, not him. If you asked him what are his intentions, and he told you that he wanted a committed relationship, and then now it's a different story, then yes, he played you. If not, you played yourself. And it's okay. We play ourselves all the time, right? I played myself. I don't know if you guys watch my stories. It's going to expire in about an hour. In 90-degree weather in New York City, I decided I was going to park 5 blocks away from where I had to go. And then when I got there, I was hot and I was mad. I played myself, right? I went where I was going was the bank. I was supposed to have very specific documents. I did not have those documents. I went there anyway. They couldn't do the transaction for me. I played myself. Even though they told me on the phone they could, so they, But whatever. When they got there, they realized something new. But had I had my ish together, none of this would have happened. So we absolutely have to take accountability for when we don't do our due diligence. And it's okay. I'm never going to go back there in 90-degree weather and not pay for parking. I'm never going to go back to the bank and not have my documents in order and then be mad at them. Or be mad at myself. Fair is fair. This is the final question, guys. Why can't I move on even when there's a great guy pursuing me? I want to, but for some reason he is able to pull me back. Oh Lord, y'all know I'm about to go off. I want to, but for some reason he's able to pull me back and keep me on hold. He's with the chick he cheated on me with. He's able to pull you back, or are you choosing to keep going back? Is it that he's pulling you back, or is that you're choosing to go back each and every time? I'm assuming you're the United States of America, and I'm assuming it's 2021 for you like it is for me, right? I watch a lot of sci-fi. If we're on the same timeline and in the same location, you are not his slave, so he's not pulling you back anywhere. You are not locked in his basement. There is nothing that's holding you to this gentleman except for you and your choices. You have to make a choice that this relationship is not serving you. This gentleman is with someone else. He is not available to you. He's not available in the way that you like or the way that you want. He may be available, every other day or at nighttime, right? He's not available to you in the way that you want. And so you have to make a choice that you want more for yourself than being with a guy who has somebody else. If you've decided that that's what you want and you're fulfilled, then ignore me. Don't listen to me. But you asked me, so I'm telling you. Remove yourself from the situation is a choice. You are not a slave. He does not have you claimed. So, as a result, you have to decide in your mind that you want more than what the gentleman is willing or able to give to you. And that's it. And that's it. You make a decision. Now, once you've made this decision, I'm going to need you to click the link in my bio, scroll down to free resources, and download the ebook Move On Sis. It's going to tell you 5 specific things to do that's going to help you to get this person out of your system, but they're not going to work unless you've decided that you deserve more. If you haven't made that decision yet, then you are choosing to be in this vicious cycle. And I'm going to say this, and I say this lovingly, and you deserve it. And you deserve it. Because it is a choice that you are making. We are so lucky in 2021 and in this country that we have the opportunity to have so many choices. We're not obligated to do and be things that we are not. So take advantage of that. And we're not blaming others. He keeps, you keep. It is your choice. So you need to choose a different life for yourself. Click the link in my bio, scroll down to free resources, the free 99, as Malika Fantab said. The free 99 is popping. I have free trainings in there as well. So if the free 99 is popping, you already know that the paid 99 is amazing. After you've checked out the free stuff and you've decided that I have something of value to offer you, if you still need more help, click the link in my bio and purchase a session. So I can talk to you and tell you very specifically what you need and what you deserve. Tyrone says men will only do what women allow them to do. Yeah, and vice versa. People will do only what you allow them to do. It's your choice. Marlon Slack says, wow, so powerful. We have to admit it to us, get the willpower back, and never give it away again to that person. Absolutely. Serenity says, I'm good with the online stuff. So let's talk about this for a second, because I saw somebody else say, I agree. I think online dating, they're only looking for hookups. Guess what? And I'm going to talk about the men for a second. No disrespect to the men. Men are looking for whatever they're looking for depending on where they are in their lives. In person, online, on an app, through social media, at the bar, at the gym, in the club. If he is looking for a committed relationship, then that is what he is looking for. If he is looking for a hookup, that's what he's looking for. This idea that online is for this and offline is for that is not practical, because the same human beings who are online are the same human beings who are offline. So the same percentage of gentlemen who only want to hook up offline is the same percentage of gentlemen who only want to hook up online. The same percentage of a gentleman who want a committed relationship is the same percentage of gentlemen online who only want a committed relationship. So this idea that meeting people organically is the way to find a committed, high value, however you define that man, and the way to get hookups is to go online is inaccurate. It's inaccurate. My friend Malika is on here, and she will tell you that one of our friends, Deanne, just became engaged on Juneteenth meeting a gentleman from Hinge. And I'm sure that there are plenty of other anecdotals that match that you guys know. Just as plenty of anecdotals of folks that meet organically or in person. Just as many people who are effed over in person and who got cheated on are organic as well as online. Our parents, our grandparents, granddaddy had a whole family on the other side of town. He ain't have no internets. So what's the excuse for that? We like to put things in a box because they don't work out for us in that moment, but let's use practicality. If you're 35 years old and you've been on the dating scene since you were 20, you've been dating in person for 15 years and haven't found the success that you're looking for. Does that mean that you're going to say, I'm never going to talk to a guy that I meet in person ever again? No. But you'll have 6 months of lack of success on a dating app and you say it's a dating app. Maybe it's not the dating app. Maybe it's you. And not that you're not amazing and valuable, but maybe there's an energy that you're putting out that's attracting the wrong people. Maybe your expectations are not practical. And I have a reel that I did yesterday about settling, which nobody wants to do, versus being practical, which is what you should do and should be in your life, right? So check that out if you want some more feedback in that regard. But to put this idea of dating apps bad, organic, good is not practical, because there are plenty of people, the majority of the world who's been cheated on, it happens through organic dating and has happened historically through organic dating, because that's what we've had since the last, I don't know, since 1999. All right? Bree says, I was against online social media dating up until I started listening to Alison, because what I've been doing ain't working, so I switched it up. Okay? LOL, then all of them want to hook up. They should add the tag player. Maybe, BB. I mean, I don't think so. But I do think it's a majority. I think that age matters. I think that location matters. And again, what you are exuding and not making it clear as to what you want, and perhaps giving up sex extremely early, is going to put you in a position that's difficult. Bree says, I finally responded to a DM of a guy who's been trying for years, and he is so sweet and attentive, and he has not mentioned sex or tried to pressure me into anything. Yes, Malik said it wasn't, what did I say? It was Hinge? It was Bumble, where she met my friend. My friend met her now fiance. The same way you drop a friend who treats you like shit, gotta start dropping these men who treat us like shit. Absolutely, drop anyone who doesn't treat you well, okay? So, folks, if you are looking to connect with me outside of Instagram, I am at Align with Alison on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, every single app imaginable, okay? At Align with Alison. My website is alignwithallison.com, where you can learn more about me, my story, and my credentials, because credentials matter. You can click the link in my bio to check out my resources, both the free 99 and the paid 99, and invest in yourself. If there's any goal that you have, if you are not investing in yourself to get there, it is but a dream. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining. I will be back on Friday. I'm doing another live stream at 12 o'clock with a special guest. And I hope to see you all there. If you are on my text list, you're going to get the text. Text the word align to 21,000. Text the word align to 21,000 so you can get on that text list. I send text like twice or 3 times a week. If you want to join my mailing list, you can click the link in my bio, scroll all the way down to, I think, VIP list, or download any of my resources, and you will automatically become a part of the land of love. Thank you for joining. You guys are all amazing. And a special shout out to everyone who purchased a badge. Malika, author, Miss Lady Loyal, Too Strong Butterfly, Letitia Page with the amazing candles I'm be ordering soon, Jabba Black, Mishi, and the Credit King. Thank you for the support. Adios, amigos.